Let's get into it. Coach Colin here. Guys, I don't want to do the claps, okay? My hands hurt. I mean, let's just not do that this episode, okay? Gotcha. What was that? Anyways, guys, let's just jump right in. This is a theory that I have not really, it's not that I haven't taken it seriously. At first it sounds so crazy. And it came about so quickly after Charlie passed away. And I just never really dug deep into it. But there was a clip that I was watching for another episode that I just finished recording with Valhalla VFT. And a clip that he shows that really made me, like a light went off in my head. And as I saw these security guards around Charlie, I realized what they were doing. Because they didn't have any blood on their hands. It didn't seem like they were trying to, and VFT makes a great case for what I'm saying right now. Doesn't seem like they're doing any type of life-saving maneuvers or treatment. Allegedly, that's just what it looks like when we're just watching on a screen. And I kind of realized what they could have been doing, allegedly, sort of, maybe. And let's just watch the clip first, and then we're going to get into the whole detonator theory, okay? But let's watch the clip. This is the clip that made me kind of go, wait a second, what's going on? Watch this.
I'm not sure. Everybody's got their hands down there doing something with Charlie. I would hope there's a med bag, a trauma medicine bag. I don't see any gauze being pulled out. I don't see anything being pulled out and handed off. I see things being handed off to people behind them as they run off. But again, as far as we have the footage
Now, if you watch that again, right? Because I'm like, what are these guys doing?
As we saw in this, I'm not sure. Everybody's got their hands down there doing something with Charlie.
Look where one guy is. So this guy here is arguably over Charlie, shoulder, head, right? Okay. This guy's beside Charlie near the midsection. This guy's down a little lower. We'll just say like hip level, right? Charlie's a tall guy. So that makes sense for three men to be his torso kind of thing. And to the top of his head, because that's where this guy is. In my mind, after watching that, they're probably taking off the microphone. That makes sense, allegedly, where these guys are going around suing people in the name of moral high ground when really they just don't want people talking about this whole thing. So, but that's what went off in my head right away. I'm like, oh, they're taking off the microphone. Now, why would they want to take off the microphone? Leave everything as it is so the case can be investigated properly. Don't touch the cameras. Don't touch the tents. Don't touch the grass. Don't touch his seat. Don't touch anything. Get everybody out of there. Put the caution tape up, and the caution tape stays up for 2 weeks, which is not what happened at all. But right away, I'm like, oh, that must be what's going on. They're taking off that. That's just what it looks like to me. I don't know about you. So I started exploring that theory about the detonator. And this was the first video I saw about the whole detonator. Okay, watch this.
Here it is from the wide angle. Watch Charlie Kirk's right side of his t-shirt. Watch the lavalier lapel mic. Do you see it explode? Let's bring it in just a little bit closer. Watch this. Put it in a freeze frame. That is the explosion from Charlie Kirk's lavalier lapel mic. Want to see it again? Bring it in closer. Remember when we told you that that was absolutely an exit wound? Yeah, it is. Check the trajectory of the round that was deployed from that lavalier lapel mic. That went directly from Charlie Kirk's lapel. That went directly from underneath Charlie Kirk's white t-shirt up through his neck and created the exit wound that we told you was an exit wound immediately when we saw that exit wound. First we had exploding pagers. Now we have exploding mics. Do you remember the vector analysis from John Bray? That proves that all of the activity came from the mic that Charlie Kirk was wearing.
Guys, this is a serious message. As you can see, I'm not even in uniform. I'm not wearing the signature hat. So you know, very serious message. 59% of you are not subscribed. Please, guys, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 500,000 subscribers. The road is long, but I know that we can do it. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the notifications. Please hit the like. If you want to keep seeing this content, if you want to help me move from being the Joe Rogan clip guy onto better, greener pastures, you got to hit the like. You got to hit the subscribe. It helps me tremendously. That is all I ask. Let's get back to the episode.
Remember the palm gun guy in the brown shirt, that shadowy looking guy with the sunglasses? Yeah, he pushes the detonator. Clear as day.
Counting gang violence. Great.
That's the assassin. That's the guy that pushes the detonator, which perfectly aligns with the explosion that pushes that projectile through Charlie's right side of his neck and out the left side, creating the exit wound.
I heard that right away, like right away. And I was like, I don't know about this whole thing, right? But again, after seeing that little clip, I'm like, not only that, I should also pull this up. Well, you know, I don't even have to pull it up. You can take my word for it. The guy who has the brown plaid on, this guy is highly trained in saving people's lives. He is highly trained. Okay? I can't overstate that. It's almost to the point where that's what he, for a majority of his career, long time, longer than some of you have been alive, he has been administering aid in situations like this. He knows what he's doing. Okay, really quick, guys. I wasn't going to include this in the video, but I'm pretty sure the information is solid. From what I can see, it just makes sense. This guy is the guy in the brown plaid shirt. From what I'm seeing here. So the mystery security man in the brown plaid at Charlie's event, Rick Cutler. Okay, retired police officer, 29 years of service. Thank you for your service, sir. After retiring in 2019, he moved to Guatemala to aid in training and equipping first responders there. Now, this is the reason I was saying that I knew that the guy in the brown plaid shirt was actually very, very competent in what needed to happen when Charlie got hit. Okay, now somebody says on September 11th, Rick's brother posted on Facebook, basically just talking about what happened when he figured out that his brother was actually there, and he was very scared, and also just the private security firm that Charlie Kirk and Riley Gaines use at events. I did not know that. Riley needs to think about that a little bit, I think. So this is actually him. His name's Rick Cutler. And if you look there, pretty much checks out. Right? And then this is just what his brother wrote about it. Said he just realized that his brother was there and he was very scared. And the last 20 minutes of the flight were agonizing. The news was still breaking. So, he was just concerned with his brother. He didn't want anything to happen to his brother. But that's why I was saying this guy was so well versed in this whole thing. Because where's that last picture? Like, this is him. Rick Cutler, retired, 29 years of service with Irving PD. He will be moving to Guatemala, serving as Director of Training and Logistics for Iris Relief. He will be training and supplying first responders, the body of Christ, in prevention, sustainability, and preparedness, giving hope, saving lives, and rescuing the one. Congratulations. So that's how I realized that this guy really, really, really knew what he was doing when it came to what happened with Charlie. He was clearly competent enough to be at that other company, served as a police officer, such a long amount of experience. He really knew what he was doing. Don't want to downplay him at all. Seems like a great guy. But again, towards what we're exploring in this video, you would think a guy like that would know exactly what to do. You would think a guy like that would know not to move the body, would know, okay, we have to seal up this wound right now. We have no time. Like, do this right now, right here. We can't wait for anybody, and we don't have time to drive him anywhere. You would think he would know all of this. Even if it's not firsthand experience that he would have, 29 years of service, you would have to get stories. You know what I mean? Like, that's how a lot of these guys gain their knowledge. It's not just what they do and what they learn. It's also what a guy comes in and tells you. I just went through this tonight, and then I figured out this, and I shouldn't have done this, and I messed up here. You know, they gain that knowledge through the community of officers. So, again, that's how I know that this guy was more than competent. Which, again, what was he doing? What was he doing over Charlie? Anyway, just wanted to say that really quick. Let's get back to the video. It's very, very odd. Very odd. Now, we move on to the next thing, because I covered this video already, because I thought it was weird. I'm like, oh, what are all these handoffs? You know, I thought that was so weird when I first started covering it. I'm like, what are all these handoffs? But now it's starting to make more sense. What would there be to hand off? People were like detonators, palm guns, things of that nature. But it would have to be the microphone and anything that would have detonated the microphone. Now, let's watch this. Allegedly, of course. That's the brown plaid guy. That's the guy. Okay? Guy in brown appears to give. Now, they're saying it's a remote detonator. Then this guy runs away with it. He definitely gives them something. He definitely gives them something. Sorry, I muted myself for a second there. I was just reading this off for you guys. He jumped the table, grabbed something, went to the other guy, grabbed something else, and ran out in a hurry. All true. There was these handoffs. Now, when I first covered this, a lot of, well, not a lot, there's a few of you that were saying the keys to the cars. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. These guys are security. They have drivers already. It's not like, you know what I mean? They already have this kind of stuff planned. They should have had an ambulance there, but they didn't. But they for sure have drivers already. And to think that the guy who's supposed to be watching him also has the keys, they would just have, in my mind at least, I don't know what kind of operation this is. In my mind, I have a driver just sitting there. Just in case things get too riled up, we just push Charlie into this car and we go, in case people just go nuts. Because it tends to happen sometime on campuses. So there is something going on there. I mean, let's just go through that again really quick. I'm going to keep it muted. You know, you pay attention to this guy. He's clearly about, like, if you watch right there, he's clearly about to grab something. He's grabbed it. He just grabbed it. He didn't just grab, oh, no. I think at that point, he slid off something to the pocket. This guy gives him something. I don't know if this first guy actually grabbed something now that I watch that back slower. Maybe he does. It definitely looks like he slides something off the table, puts it in his pocket. Then this guy runs up to him. And now they're handing something off here. He goes. See, that even that person says probably the lavalier. But I know, see, here's the thing. I know I have extensive experience in videography. I know how to set up every camera setup you could possibly think of. I've been doing this for more than a decade now. And the thing about it is the mic that he's using is a D8 DJI. I know, I actually have the same ones. So that's the type of mic that he's using, right? I can tell by the magnet. It's a square magnet. They all don't have that. They all have different ones. But you wouldn't need any other transmitter nearby. You would just, the transmitter would be in the camera or in some audio source, or even not at all in an audio source, and it can record its own audio. So it's not like he would need to grab something that's paired with the lav mic. That's not how DJI works. My buddy Mike actually has my DJI. I need those back, Mike. Let me just see here. So the handoff. Right? Like when I first watched that, I was like, oh, they're assuming it's a detonator. And I was like, that's just kind of silly. But I'm like, but there is some kind of weirdness going on. Now I'm starting to rethink that. Put something on him. Something. Then you watch these guys. I mean, this guy could just not be expecting it. I mean, I don't really see, he didn't really do anything. He moves to the key. He doesn't really grab anything. Now, when he falls to the ground here, he drops. He drops hard too. It looks like he picked something up, but he did fall hard. He could have just dropped something. You know, if you're going with the premise of a detonator, there can only be so many things in play. Right? So there has to be something here. There has to be something on somebody else to press to detonate. And I would think that's it. There would just be two things. Anyway, let's keep going. So he passes something. Oh, shit. Yeah. Okay. It looks like he does, but not fully, because when he goes into that sprint, you see his hand. So it would have to be a really quick in the pocket running. But again, the real guy that's in question from the first video that I showed you to this one is the guy in the brown plaid shirt. That's the real thing going on. Allegedly, don't know anything. This is just the theory that has been circulating for quite some time, and I was kind of ignoring it. Check this out. I mean, it's right to the frame. I don't want to show the part with Charlie, so I'm just going to show him pressing it. He presses it right on cue. You see that? He pressed it. Is the second he presses it. This is going to show the part with Charlie. I don't want to show Charlie. I got to be honest.
So this really shocked me because it turns out that brown shirt guy is a part of his security team.
So whatever happened, he pressed it right at that moment. And then he ran over, handed something off, went down there. Nobody could tell what on earth they were doing at all. And it would just make sense. If you're going with this theory, allegedly, whatever you got to say, if you're going with this theory, then what they're doing here is taking off that microphone. Because if they left it on, it would have shown something. It would have shown that it blew up. It would have shown that it was modded in some kind of way. It would have shown something. Man. Here, let's keep going.
I've seen several versions of this video being floated around social media, and it was definitely shocking. I mean, clearly it indicates that, you know, Charlie was still alive. But then I remembered I actually had this footage, so I went and compared what I'm seeing on social media with what I actually had, and I want you to see what we have right here. That video that's floating around social media has been strategically and intentionally cropped so you can't see the fact that his arm is being manipulated by this guy right there. And then on top of that, this video is slowed to less than 1/15 the normal speed at which it was filmed. Here I sped it up 10x and it's still not playing at normal speed. You can see his hand is being whipped forward because it's being done very quickly. His hand is not pointing. Neither his arm or hand are doing anything that would indicate conscious movement. Hopefully we can agree that we shouldn't trust the government. We shouldn't trust the FBI. All these agencies have lied to us time and time again.
Now, this is Paramount Tactical. Great guy, does great work, has a great YouTube channel, but I don't think he realizes what he's showing when he shows all this. Now, what he's doing is trying to dispel people saying anything about this video, right? But what I see here is, like I said, I see a guy who's at the hip of Charlie. I see a guy who is clearly at the shoulder because we see an elbow coming up. So this guy must be at Charlie's shoulder. Brown plaid guy is shoulder, top of head. Why are they moving his arm like that? Now, again, this is just exploring the theory, but it would make sense that they are moving the arm like that, because if the arm's up here, where do you have to go? What do you have to do in this theory? You have to get that microphone. So you have to move his arm down here. So you can go in there. You can remove this magnet. And that's hard to do. And that kind of explains what they're doing down there. These magnets are like, when you magnetize this microphone, it's like really hard to get off. Sometimes you have to slide it all the way down your shirt. It's a wild thing. It's really, really strong. So you have to remove that somehow. Then what usually happens, and again, I have a lot of experience, once you remove that magnet, the microphone falls. It happens all the time. Or you're trying to get the mic off, you do that, the magnet falls. It's always one of the two. So what do you have to do? The second you get that magnet off, it falls. Now you're going in the shirt. Arm has to be moved this way. So if he's like this, or he's like this, arm has to get moved this way so you can get in there and get the microphone. I'm just saying. It's starting to make more sense to me. And then, again, what are they doing? What is this guy doing at the hip? Let's play this. What could he here, Dan Flood, what could he possibly be accomplishing at the hip of Charlie? What could he possibly be accomplishing on the other side of this wound? What could he be accomplishing? Looking down like this, what could they possibly be doing? They're moving that arm. They're making sure to move that arm down. A lot of people thought, now one thing that Paramount Tactical is dispelling is the fact that people thought Charlie was like fighting for his life, you know, like a worst case scenario type of thing. Now, he has dispelled that for sure. Lifeless, they're moving it, but then they're rooting around trying to do something, right? And Valhalla VFT, he's stated clearly what should be happening is you should be putting pressure, trying to stop the bleeding as much as you can, and then from there you can't move. Your only task is to make the bleeding stop. So he even said graphically, he's like, you stick your thumbs in there, you rip off a shirt, you jam cloth into there, you do whatever you can to stop the bleeding. And then once you've done that, you can't move. You've done it. He's not bleeding anymore. Blood keeps pumping. Pulse gets better, hopefully, or it stays faint, but it's still there. And that's it. And you wait until the professionals show up. They move him properly. They stop the bleeding as well, or even keep you on it while they move him in and maybe even have you in the ambulance. And that's it. You just save somebody's life. That's not what they're doing here. So again, just gets weird. when you're looking at this? What are these guys doing?
I'm not sure. Everybody's got their hands down there doing something with Charlie. I would hope there's a med bag, a trauma medicine bag. I don't see any gauze being pulled out. I don't see anything being pulled out and handed off. I see things being handed off to people behind them as they run off. But again, as far as we have the footage now, I don't see proper trauma medicine being displayed at all. Okay.
So he makes a great case also. You know, I'm exploring that whole detonator theory, but he makes a great case for just sheer incompetence. If you watch this video, it's called, I can just show it to you. If you watch this video, it's called Is Charlie Kirk's Team the Real Suspects? Full Breakdown. And, you know, that title, it's not misleading. He's going through the theory, right? And he makes a great case for them just being incompetent because he himself has had so much experience doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing. So he makes a great case for incompetence. He can't rule that out. But just when I saw that clip that he played, I was like, what are these guys doing? And then it just popped into my head. I'm like, they would have to be removing a microphone. That would be the first thing you want to do. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm thinking it could be a possibility. But of course, I don't actually know. I mean, there's people talking about, you know, different trajectories. There's people, you know, even Candace brought up a second person and all these different things. And when you really think about it, as you start to hear all these different theories, you know, the multiple shooter and the different trajectory kind of connect to the detonator theory. They kind of connect. If you take away the multiple shooter and you just have somebody with the detonator, but then it becomes, where'd the sound come from? There was a very loud sound. Now, I don't know if something detonates, if it would make that type of sound. Maybe it would, but it does sound an awful lot like a gunshot. You have to admit. And I mean, it cracks. Like you hear it from the other perspectives and it's like a, you know, and it's not two shots. It's actually an echo, I think. I don't know. I can't say for sure, but things do echo like that from time to time. When you're in a venue like they're in, something cracks really loud. It'll echo right away. So it'll crack and then crack, right? You'll hear the real crack and then you'll hear the echo crack. And then that sounds like as if it's two shots because it's an echo of a shot, right? I don't know though. I don't know. But that's something I'm considering now. I just wanted to put that out there for you guys. I don't know how you guys feel about the whole detonator thing, but it just came to my mind. Just wanted to leave you guys with that. I'm out of here.